Hey guys, how's it going? Sully here. A little bit late on some of this info, so we will go ahead and get into it here in just a second. Just got off work on my night shifts and everything and started recording this video. I have a sick kid at the house, so I'm a little bit behind. But without any further ado, so I don't waste any of your guys' times, here we go and get into this information. So, Halloween, the game, is coming to Australia, according to Slasher Radio over here on X. But kind of jumped the gun a little bit because it seems like the R18 rating is kind of just like a placeholder that they put there. So this is just a little update on the Australia ban, that they may be making progress on making the game available in all of the regions. So he raises some interesting questions down here as to, yes, it would be confusing a little bit, as it would make sense why it's a placeholder, but why would they keep it in the portal if it was not in progress of being updated and looked at and looked over and possibly be made available? Okay, so we're going to go there, and then the next thing that we're going to go over is Halloween has officially crossed 2 million wish lists, guys. 2 million wish lists. So if you doubted that this game had any hype behind it at all, 2 million wish lists is a lot. Now, we all know that it is not a 1-to-1 ratio of wish list to sales. So just because it had 2 million wish lists does not mean that it will have 2 million players or anything like that. It may sell that many copies, but you will not have that many players on at one time. You never will. And it will never reach the 1-for-1 wish list versus sales, because how these games work is they'll always sell over time. But still, 2 million wish lists is a lot because it shows how much hype is behind the game, how much hype is behind the project, and it shows that Halloween itself is a very popular franchise. So this is a good sign for the game. This is a good sign for asymmetrical genre and asymmetrical horror. So let's just hope that Illfonic doesn't drop the ball here. Okay, so we have this gameplay clip that came out a few days ago, and it shows off some of the new animations, some of the information about the heads-up display information that's going to be on your screen while you're playing. So let's just go ahead and watch this. And we'll go over a couple of these new information on the HUD that we have not seen yet before. So if you get the first thing that is obviously the elephant in the room is the animations are so much better. So we'll see here. See if I can find it here. If you can tell the hair and the running and stuff, the hair and the animations for the running is just so much smoother, and it's a big improvement compared to the PAX version. The next thing that you've noticed about the HUD is the mini-map's different. So the houses on the mini-map in the top right, they have numbers. So you have house numbers now that you can look at, and you have icons on there. You have train track icons. So is there going to be trains in this game? We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to be in the map. We don't know anything that's going to be available on this map. The other thing that's different is from some of the PAX plays, you didn't have this part right here where it says repair the car. You didn't have this checklist here. So was that because they didn't find the car in the PAX gameplay, or was that just because it wasn't available on the HUD? But now you have this little checklist here of things that you can do to use that escape route, or to use that tool that's available for the victims or the heroes, however you want to call it in this game. The gameplay that I've seen on PAX this was not here. So is it going to be a scenario where when you pull up the map, you uncover these question marks, and then that's going to show you that, hey, that's the car, and then that may pop up on your HUD. That might be how it works. The next question that we're going to ask about this is, does Michael Myers get access to this map? Does he have access to the same information that the heroes of Haddonfield have? Because it needs to be both, because asymmetricals are an information game. We all know that they're an information game, especially when it's a 1v4. TCM, not so much, because you have 3 family members there that are always roaming around. You're going to come across the victims no matter what on TCM. But when it's a 1v4 and there's one person on that power roll side, it is an information game. So Myers needs to have access to this map at the bare minimum. He needs to have access to this. Maybe not have access to all the question marks on here. That's debatable. But he needs to have access to this map at the minimum, so he can know where all the house numbers are. So he can have a way to know where he's going and have an overall plan to cover the map. The next thing is, are these red borders? Is it like is that the edge of the map? That looks like it's going to be the edge of the map, and that's going to be kind of like a blockade or something. I'm not really sure how that works, but you drive past that edge and then maybe you can escape or something like that. Like, you can't go any further than that. Obviously, we know the maps have to have a size limit, but this map right here, it seems kind of small to be driving around on. That's just at first glance. It looks kind of small to be driving around. It makes sense for the bicycle, but it doesn't make much sense to drive around in the car on this small map. So maybe the car makes a little more sense because you can carry more people in it around the small map. It makes a little more sense then. But anyway, so let's look at these blue circles. So you have 3 special targets. So based off the PAX gameplay, I'm not sure if the special targets are the one that have these blue circles around them, but you have these blue circles on the map that indicate areas where there's like civilian bubble that Michael cannot spawn in. So then the question I raise here is, if you can look at the map and you can see that these bubbles disappear, then does that notify the heroes that that civilian is no longer in play? It's just a lot of different questions that are raised from this map and this information here. We don't have much more information on that, on the map part. But let's go back to the beginning here, and then let's look at this. You have 17 minutes here. You have 17 minutes compared to the PAX gameplay that was brought down to 12. So we already know that the games are going to be longer. The animations are going to be better. The victims are going to have heroes. I keep calling them victims, but the heroes are going to have much more information. So they said and have stated that this is going to be a much more casual experience, and for the casual player, they will have to have as much information given to them as possible. Now, hopefully it's not too much information to where the experienced players and the bully squads can use all that information to just get Michael out of the game, and then it's just not a very enjoyable experience on the Michael Myers side. But that's why I say, if you give the victims this much information, then they need to give Michael Myers that same information. That way it's a push and pull. Like, the heroes are going here to accomplish this objective, and I know they're going that direction. I need to know where it's at, and then I can come counterplay. So that's just how it goes. That's how it needs to be. That's my opinion on it. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Alright, so let's go ahead and compare this also to some of the PAX gameplay that we have here. So as you can tell, the animations are already much, much better in that new gameplay clip. You don't have the house numbers in the mini-map up in the top right like you had. You have the 12-minute time limit. That was to keep the line moving during the PAX demo. You don't have that repair the car HUD, that notification there. You also had a reworked inventory slot down here. They look a little bit different. And then you also had a small exclamation point over here above your stamina, health bar, and whatnot there. So it looks a lot smoother. It looks a lot more polished. So we have a better idea of what the final build is going to be like. But anyway, guys, that is all of the information that I have now. I'm a little late to the game, but anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys stopping by. If you guys want to see me stream Halloween the game, then check my Twitch and YouTube links in the bio, because I will be streaming it on Twitch, on YouTube, and as well as on TikTok if that's your thing as well. Appreciate you guys stopping by, and we will see you guys all on the next one. Y'all have a good one.